And basically, what you want to do is, let's say if you're going after a goal and you're hitting all kinds of barriers. So let's say if you're trying to make a decision, but you're feeling a little bit of fear and you're not really sure where to go next. What I want you to do is actually kiss the monster and embrace the fear. And so what you're going to do is you're going to get out a piece of paper and you're going to write, I'm afraid that. Now, anybody here into law of attraction? Okay, so for the 5 people in the audience, people in law of attraction will say to me, yeah, but that's being negative. Okay, it's not being negative. It's called embracing the resistance. If you are sitting there affirming, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a new job, but your inner self is having resistance, you're not going to manifest it. So you have to embrace the monsters. You have to embrace the resistance so that you can transform it. So what you want to do is say, I'm afraid of that. And if it has to do with a specific goal, like getting a job, promotion, then you would go, I'm afraid that I won't get the job promotion because. And I want you to start writing. And the first few things you're going to write are things that are in your head. But as you continue to write, it's going to come all downloading out. And the truth of the situation is going to come out. Because here's the deal. Most of the time, our fears are false fears. And most of the time, we are setting intentions and we are setting goals based on what we think we need to do and based on our fears versus what the truth is. So I'm going to give you a really good example. So you're going to write this all out and then you're going to get a trusted friend. And you're going to get that friend to go through the list and say, where have I made a judgment? Where have I made an assumption? And where have I allowed my past to determine my future? And so the example I'm going to give you is a client that I had a few years ago. And she wrote stuff like, I'm so nervous, I'm afraid that I'm not going to get the job promotion because I'm not smart enough. All right, which one of those is that? I'm not smart enough. What has she done? She's made a judgment. We're all brilliant, right? Just in her own way. Then she says, oh, well, you know what, my last job, I didn't get the job promotion because da-da-da-da-da-da. What has she done? Yeah, she's allowed her past to determine her future. And then she was like, oh, yeah, but they're asking for somebody with a degree and I only have a diploma. She's making an assumption because maybe she has so much work experience and she's got such a great personality and clients love her and they don't care. So she's totally limited herself. But here's the deal. As she continued to write, it started to get into things like where my husband and I are in debt and the roof is leaking, we don't know what to do. And she was just going on and on about her financial issues. And I said, so let me ask you something. I said, if you did not have the financial issues you had, would you want this job promotion? What do you think? Yes. No. She would want it. She actually didn't want the job promotion. The interesting thing is that she had decided the how. Because her problem was that she was in debt and piles and piles of bills were coming and they couldn't pay them and she was in a fear place. And when you're in a fear place, you set these intentions that may not be in your best and highest good. And for her, she didn't want to have to be working the extra hours. She didn't want to be traveling. She had a lot of reasons why she didn't want to get this job promotion, but she had decided the how. And that's what happens to a lot of us. We get really stuck in the how versus figuring out what the truth is and then saying, okay, it's a money issue. What are all the different ways I can create income? But even more than that, here's something I really want you to hear. It wasn't even about the money. Because what we discovered as she continued to write was this. Her and her husband were starting to fight a few years ago. And every time they fought, instead of getting through the fight and working through it, they went shopping. If she would have gotten a job promotion, what would have they done? More shopping. They would have just increased their spending. So she was setting intention about to make more money, but that wasn't the real problem because the real problem was her marital issues. That was what was causing the spending issues. So this is really important for you to know that most of the time we are making goals that are not really authentically the goals that we need to be making. We're making them because we're coming from some kind of a fear place or some kind of a pattern and we're trying to mask another deeper problem. That's why I want when you write these out to get out of your head and just let yourself keep writing and writing for pages until you get to the absolute end and see what comes out of it. Because once we knew what the issue was, we were able to say, okay, now we need to look at fixing your marriage, and then we had a budget. But, fixing your marriage, that was the problem. That's why a lot of us end up in the same pattern. Anybody ever do that? Where you have a situation, like you're dating somebody, and you're like, why do I always get these men who are angry? Or these women who are angry? And then, you're like, next time, I'm not going to be in a relationship like that. They're going to be cheerful and happy. And then they do 3 months later, they're dating somebody new, and they're angry. Because they're not dealing with a deeper issue. So I really want you to start looking at your goals and ask yourself, am I doing this goal as a quick fix? Is there a deeper reason uncover the real obstacles, because once you get what the real issues are, then you're in a place of power for you to be able to train it, to transform them. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's your exercise. You're going to write down, I'm afraid that, let it all out, start to analyze it, and start to really ask yourself, what is the deeper issue in this?